And we are live. Welcome to the process, everybody. It is Tuesday, November 28th. I'm Josh Engleman, here to break down an 8-game NBA slate for all of you. Coming off of last night's lovely Monday night 5-gamer. I finished 4th last night. Close but no cigar. Yeah. You know what's really fun? Played 50 lineups last night in the fadeaway instead of the normal max entry. Messaged Adam, said, I'm going to play 50 for good luck. Lineup 91 would have won the contest. So, a little salty in that regard, but very happy. My core from last night just absolutely smashed. Like, obviously, DeAndre Jordan, everybody, Jaden Ivey. I had like 50% Kawhi. That went quite well. Oh, Omar. I was just looking at your lineup a couple seconds ago. I would have beat it by a half point. I had a 385.5 in the chamber. Decided to go out to battle without as many bullets. Yeah, the Kuzma piece was the piece that I didn't have enough of. So I was drawing pretty narrow without any Kuz. But still, I mean, everything. I had a fantastic player pool for last night. Last night would have been the perfect day to just have it ultra jammed instead of mini jammed. But I can't complain. It was a great night. Omar, congrats, though, for real. It's good to see. Good to see. Yeah, like what did I have? I have it here. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, 98% of DeAndre Jordan. Malcolm Brogdon getting quiet late really hurt. 72% of him, 64% of Justin Holiday, 60 of Cade. But I had 54 of Kawhi, 54 of Reggie Jackson. Both of those numbers helped. I had like 50-something of Jeremy Grant. That got down to like 24, but even still. Yeah, Jordan Embiid was quite necessary. But look, I'm happy. I woke up to more money than I had the day before. You can't really ask for much more other than I really wish that I didn't go back and look to see what actually would have made it. That made me incredibly sad. But that's okay. We're here. We're going to talk some basketball. 8 games, in-season tournament day, which is basically over at this point. So we don't have too much of this yet. But the good news is not a single team is on a back-to-back, which means we have all the news that we could possibly want, which also means that it is probably time for us to just get this bad boy started. I would like some coffee. I don't think you'll be surprised by that. I didn't put my standard issue piece of ice in my coffee, which means this is going to be hotter than I want it to be. That's frustrating. I hate that I just remembered that now. Now, did I? Okay. I was doing something right before we got started, and then I guess I realized that I never finished what I was doing. I'm just moving this pivot table to a new worksheet. There we go. That's going to make my life a little bit easier. Alrighty. I hope everybody had a good night. Hope everybody else picked up some cash as well. I know Omar did. Omar did for sure. All right, Ken, your coffee's brewing. I'll filibuster for a little bit until you're good to go. I really do wish that I would have, one, put that lineup in a contest, and two, I wish that I would have put that piece of ice in my coffee. Temperature is everything to me, guys, and it really stinks when I screw it up. And I do it so frequently, too. It never fails. All right, I can move this window over here. Slap that bad boy down right there. Let's get into it. So, coffee's here. Time for cheers. It's Tuesday, November 28th. We got 8 games ahead of us. If you've got a coffee, great. Tea, water, beer, joints, Crunchwrap Supremes, whatever we got going on here. Cheers to you guys. Rise and grind. Let's get into it. Oh, I didn't even put... Yeah, I'm going to go deal with this. I didn't put any sweetener in it either. Not that I care. Do I care? Should I care? I'm not running downstairs. It doesn't matter. Cheers, everybody. Let's get into this. I'm going to hate my coffee today. I deserve this. Bang. We're in. Blunts, no joints. I don't know if I'm smoking a blunt at 6:30 in the morning. That sounds disastrous. That sounds like it would be very, very hard to do for me to continue the day, at least. Nah, we're good. We're good. We're good. First game up. The Chicago Bulls are 13.5-point underdogs in Boston, 217 total. This line, so we've got Caruso questionable, Levine questionable. We also have Kristaps Porzingis out and Drew questionable. How bad is Chicago? And how good are the Celtics? If this line is 13.5, what is this line? I don't know if we've seen it recently. What is this line if the Celtics play the Spurs or the Blazers? Is it 18? Is it 19? Like, that line is insane. Like, Chicago's bad. Don't get me wrong. But they're like 5 points better than Portland and Detroit and San Antonio. Chicago 8-2 against the spread against the Celtics. Chubbs, hold on to that one, man. That is information that does not belong around these parts. I can't think of anything less interesting to see. Well, I guess we're projecting Chicago, and the thing about projecting Chicago right now is that we don't really have any actionable information. If those guys are questionable, then we're projecting them in. You know, Levine's going to play his 35 or 36 minutes, you would think. I'm going to take a minute off of Javon Carter. I'm going to bump Levine up another minute, actually, to 36. I got DeMar in for 36. Vooch in for 34. Kobe White in for 32. Caruso didn't play on the 26th. We did get Patrick Williams playing big minutes once again. I think we assume that Alex Caruso plays in this one since he's only questionable. I think we just sort of move forward with Chicago the same way that we always do because they don't really move their rotation around all that much. Now, similarly for Boston, this one will look a little bit different. Although, I guess we need to put... Oh, no, I have Drew in, so I don't even have to worry about this one too much. Because this is just going to look a lot like their most recent game with... Oh, I never took Drew out. What day was that? The 26th. Oh, so that was Sunday. Okay, so I projected Drew in and never played the slate. Now I remember. Toasted Biscuits, what's up? So I actually don't think I have to move this one around too much. Drew's missed the past two. Porzingis is out, but he is just out. So that one doesn't really matter all that much. So we just got to get Drew back in, and that's exactly what I have in here right now. So limited minutes to Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, O'Shea Brissett. They didn't go to Brissett. They went to Delano Banton. Huh. All right, I'll move those 11 minutes from Brissett to Banton. Not that this matters at all. We're not playing that guy one way or the other. The only thing that matters is the guys at the top. Which also, I don't think that I have anything to really look at. I am going to take a quick peek at the props just in case. So let's look at Boston points. All they have is Tatum and Brown. That's perfect. 28.5 to Tatum, 23.5 to Brown. I'm right where I want to be. And obviously, like, if Drew ends up out, that will matter. So pay attention. Yeah, Banton started, but mostly Bogans. Didn't play in the second quarter. Got a random rotation in the fourth quarter. They closed with Hauser. So let's take a peek. Let's see what we've got for game one. Well, it's not good for Boston. And like, we know this. 217.5 total here. This is the lowest total on the slate by 4 points. We've got games in the two games, like Atlanta, Cleveland's 237, Golden State, Sacramento's 238. Like, this game's just going to have a hard time getting there, especially on the Chicago side, because at least Boston gets the benefit of like being a 13.5 point favorite. It's Brown and Tatum. If Drew is in, you know, Banton will look a little bit better, but I don't anticipate having much of anything here from Boston. I don't think it looks good in any way. Not at all. So we are not going to pay too close attention to the Boston Celtics. And I can bet we're not going to pay too much attention to the Chicago Bulls. $7,200 Vooch is fine. And like $7,300 DeRozan's fine. $7,400 Levine is fine. $3,300. I just saw it, S&P. $3,300 Andre Drummond is a guy that we'll probably have to talk about, at least for the beginning of the day. But we need to be very clear here. This game is not the game that we are focused on. Can we talk a little bit about how DraftKings should just drop this stupid 10 o'clock game? Can you imagine if we just had a 7-game slate, all from 7:30 to 8:30? How much better of a night that would be? And just run a nice showdown slate for the 10 o'clock. We're perfectly set up to just have a nice slate where you don't have to pay attention for an extra hour and a half. Oh well. Oh well. Game 2. Not a lot to look at there in Chicago, Boston. We're going to need some news. Toronto, Brooklyn. Raptors are 1.5 point dogs in Brooklyn, 223 total. Now, for Toronto, what do we know? Everybody that's normally out is out. Nothing crazy there. Brooklyn's got a Q tag on Nick Claxton. Probable tag on Cam Johnson. Oh, Jesus. No Ben Simmons. A Q tag on DSJ. Doubtful tag on Cam Thomas. So, for Toronto, I don't think we have too much that we really want to dig into. I've got Scotty Barnes in for 36 minutes. That's got to come down to 35. I've got Siakam in for 35 as well. We've got Jake Puddle in for 27. I think I'm going to make that 28. Playing a little bit more. 15 for Boucher is probably too many, but we'll get to that. OG, his minutes are up recently as well. I got him at 32. I kind of want to take him up to 33. Malachi Flynn, backup point guard run is fine. 25 minutes for Gary Trent. It's fine. 31 for Schroeder looks fine. So I don't think I have anything else that I want to change here. Other than maybe I take a couple. You know what? We can just leave those 5 minutes on Otto Porter. Rates are all going to be the same here. I've dug into Toronto recently. Brooklyn is a team that we're going to have to project a little bit differently now. So, again, Claxton. Let me just see what they've been doing. All right, so Simmons and Cam Thomas are likely both out. Simmons is already out, but Cam Thomas is doubtful. Claxton didn't play the most recent game, second half of a back-to-back, and he is questionable now with that ankle sprain. I think we have to assume Nick Claxton is playing, at which point I'm giving him 27 minutes. I think we can comfortably project Spencer Dinwiddie for, let's see, what has he been doing since Cam Thomas has been out? 33. That works for me. I'll go 34. Next up is going to be Bridges. His minutes don't really change. He just plays a shit ton no matter who's available. So we're going to go 35 to Bridges. When was the last Brooklyn game? That would have been on, I want the 25th, the one that had Claxton. So That would be here. Nope, wrong button. 15-point win against Miami. Now we're going to have to get DSJ back in there as well. He was basically just playing backup run. So I'm just going to pop in 14 minutes to DSJ. Next up, we're going to need Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith. So let's get Dorian Finney-Smith in. His minutes have changed pretty dramatically. Let's get him in for 30. Let's get Cam Johnson in for 31. And now we just fill it out with backups. Lonnie Walker played 25. No Claxton. I think we probably get something in that 20-minute range for Lonnie Walker. We got to get Sharp. Was playing about 17 minutes a night with Claxton back. Watford was playing about 14. We'll do something like that. That leaves me 18 minutes. That would be 18 minutes for Royce O'Neal. That seems unlikely. I got to get Royce O'Neal somehow to 28 minutes. It seems to me that the easiest way to do that is to take most of the playing time away from Trendon Watford. Done. Not that that matters at all. That all looks good to me. Rates don't really have to change. They'll only really have to change once Cam Thomas gets back. So I think that's game 2. Moving pretty well here. On the Brooklyn side, look, I don't mind $6,300 Nick Claxton. I rarely do. Just add him to the list of centers, though. $8,400 for Bridges is all right. Most of Brooklyn looks bad. These first 2 games are rough. Very, very rough. Now, on the Toronto side, can't imagine it looks any better. Sure doesn't. $8,200 Siakam, just looking like he has for like the past week. $6K Anunoby, just shooting guard eligible. So stupid. $6K Jakob Poeltl probably makes you feel a little bit better than Clax. But these first 2 games have not produced anything that looks good. Atlanta Hawks, 5-point dogs in Cleveland. 237 total. So this is one of the first, like, we got to pay attention to it. And it's the Cleveland side that'll be most interesting just because Atlanta is 23rd in defensive rating, 4th in pace. Cleveland is obviously 4th in defensive rating, 17th in pace. This is a fantastic spot for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now we need to see who's available. For the Hawks, no Jalen Johnson. Obviously, he's going to be out for a bit. For the Cavs, everybody except for Dean Wade. Well, I guess technically still no Ty Jerome, but you guys know. Yeah, S&P. I think for that stuff, and you'll probably agree, like, it's still a normal regular season game. So I think you get the same sort of effort. And then any team that is playing for point differential is probably going to, like, try to make a push for that. Like, being eliminated isn't going to change anything to any of these teams because there's still wins and losses. But having something to play for is going to be a bit of a bump. All right, so for Atlanta, I guess we don't have too much to change here. We got Jalen Johnson out the last time. They went to AJ Griffin and Wes Matthews, exactly like we expected, just for less playing time. Hunter ended up playing way more. And I think we probably have to read into that a little bit. So I'm going to bump him up to 33. We got Bogdanovich up a little bit higher. I'm going to take him to 28. I'm pretty comfortable with 36 to Trey, although he's played 37, 39, 40, and 37 in some of his recent games. So I am going to take Trey to 37. And I'm going to take DeJounte to 36. I'm okay with my Capella Okongwu minutes. I'm happy to take a couple more minutes off of AJ Griffin. Sorry, off of Wes Matthews. I got 31 for Bay. I think that's probably good. I'm going to have to pay attention to these minutes, though, for Atlanta. 1 minute to one guy over another is going to be pretty difficult. Now, on the Cleveland side, I know I have to reproject this. They've had Garland and... they had Mitchell bouncing in and out. So I don't have Garland and Mitchell in. So I'm just going to start this rotation from scratch. We're going to go ahead and pop Darius Garland in for... oh, boy. Let's see. 35? 35 to Garland? 36 to Donovan Mitchell? The thing is, though, and I know you'll agree with me here too, S&P, they're only going to do weird things late. Like, it's hard to think about point differential and whatever you need to do in the second quarter. I think you're just more likely to see good people play like the stars play a little bit longer in the fourth quarter. I think that's the only way that it can happen. All right, let's look at Cleveland from the 26th. Beat Toronto by 5. Standard issue starting lineup for these guys. We got Strus in for 35. We get Mobley in for 34. We get Jared Allen. Shout out to Adam. We get Jared Allen in for, 29? That feels about right to me. Nah, probably 30. We get Jared Allen in for 30. Then we need Niang out there for 22. Go that direction first. That'll allow me to move those 8 minutes this way. 34. So that's going to be 26 and 8. I'll put 10 minutes in for Tristan Thompson. And then we just have LeVert and Okoro. Now, LeVert minutes down bigly since Okoro came back. Porter didn't play. So I got 38 minutes to split between Isaac Okoro and Karis LeVert, which I think is pretty reasonable to do. Let's go ahead and get Karis LeVert in for 24. We'll go 25, actually. And then we'll go 13 to Okoro. Not that I think that that's a great idea, but I think that's fine. It won't matter. We're not playing those guys. Maybe we're playing those guys. Oh, I didn't change the rates. I was like, holy shit, Darius Garland is mispriced. Then I realized that I still had his rates for no Donovan Mitchell. That gave me a bit of a scare. All right. Now let's take a look at Wowie. Let's take a look at Cleveland. I will include last year. And let's just see, how many games did they play with everybody available? Mitchell, Allen. I'm going to say LeVert, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley. All 5 of those guys, counting last year. How many games did they play together? I might find that out if this runs. They played 50 games together. That's a great sample for what we need. Darius Garland, 26% usage rate. That's about where I have it right out of the gate. These are actually going to be about right because they have to be. They play too much alongside each other. Mitchell's at 30.5. Probably need to lock that in. So let's not lock Mitchell in, which then allows me to lock Garland in. Mobley's at 19 and change, which is right where I have him. Allen is at 16, right where I have him. Levert would be at 19. I bet that's lower. Yeah. We're gonna knock Levert back a notch. And I'm just gonna assume Max Strus plays a bunch. 15.5% usage rate for Max Strus. This is spot on. Spot on. Ross, we don't have to care about Max Strus's usage rate. His usage comes from everybody else. He's not that guy. When all those guys are in, Max Strus is just the guy that shoots threes. So I very minimally have to make adjustments there. Assist rate, Garland's at 10, Mitchell's at 6.5. I don't feel like I need to change that, or rebounding rate. So I'm just going to cross-reference props for Cleveland points just on Mitchell and Garland. If they're right, then I know we're good. Mitchell's at 27.5. I got him at 29. I'm okay with that. And then Garland is at 19.5. I got him at 22.7. Is that a minutes thing? I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be. Should I take him down to 34? Is that the issue? How many assists? I got him at 7-1. Yeah, I'm just going to pull a minute from Mitchell, or from Garland. Grab another one for Okoro. That should line everybody up the way that we wanted to. So that's going to be Cleveland. As we look at Cleveland, I love Darius Garland here. A reminder, this is a matchup against a bad team defensively. Dunks and threes has the Hawks. 115.6 adjusted defensive rating. That's 23rd. They're 4th in pace. So this is a pretty sizable pace-up spot for Cleveland against a bad defense. To see Darius Garland be a 1.17 guy in this matchup makes a lot of sense. I love Garland at 7,200. I'm very happy to get to Donovan Mitchell at 9,200. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen are both very much in play. This is the best thing we've looked at so far today. And so much of it is just simply the matchup against Atlanta. 237 total, second highest on the slate. This looks really good. Those 4 guys look fantastic. I don't want Strus at all at 6,600 with everybody back. Now, the Atlanta side probably has some things that look good, although the matchup is way worse. $9,700 Trey. Hard to want to get to him over Mitchell. And then, like, Okongwu or Capella, you could always rotate through those guys. That'll never be a problem. Interesting, like, I wonder if they play them alongside each other at all. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, knowing Jalen Johnson's out, it wouldn't totally surprise me. I don't think it matters, but for now, not a lot to like from Atlanta. Remember, pace down, good defense. The guy you're going to, though, is Trey. Real tough sell on Murray to me. Real tough sell on Hunter to me. Bogey's at 5,700 already. The star of that show is Cleveland. It's the Cleveland show. The best I could do. Milwaukee Bucks, 3-point favorites in Miami, 225 total. Who the hell knows how this one shakes out? Is this a revenge narrative for Miami against Dame? Is that how that works? Bam probable, Jimmy questionable, no Tyler Hero, Q tag on Haywood Highsmith, probable tag on Duncan Robinson. So getting Duncan Robinson back is helpful. On the Milwaukee side, no Jay Crowder, obviously. Middleton questionable. That scares me. Chalk Middleton getting his minutes bump immediately gets removed. Okay, so we gotta get Duncan Robinson back in. So we're gonna start it off on the Milwaukee side. We got to project Chris Middleton as if he's playing, and then we got to get Duncan Robinson in. So actually, let me do one thing quickly. Oh, okay. That's kind of what I expected. All right. Damian Lillard, first man up. Damn it. They played too many games. We'll get Dame in for 35. I think that we have to do that for this type of game. In-season tournament standings. Bucks are 3-0. Heat are 2-1. Okay, so both of these teams are absolutely going for this. Without question. So, yeah, 35 for Dame feels right. 34 for Giannis? I mean, he's played 37 a night for the past 5 games. But if I go to 35 for Giannis, yeah, I'm going 35 to Giannis. I have to. Brook, 31. Oh, Middleton, you jerk off. 26, I guess. Now, Beasley's minutes are back up again, too. Ever since Jay Crowder went down, Beasley playing 29 a night. Should probably make it 30. Yeah. Now, the rest of this rotation. We get Portis in for backup run. They've been running the triple big lineup, too. Portis, since Jay Crowder has gone down, is playing 26 minutes a night. If you leave out the game that Giannis didn't play, it's 25 a night. Let's get him 25. Campaign, we just slapped the backup point guard run to. Connaughton, since Crowder went down, playing 26 a night. Who are we missing? Beauchamp and Jackson, 19 minutes apiece, or 19 minutes total. So 10 to Beauchamp, 9 to Jackson. Rates stay the same. All right, that's Milwaukee. Let's check Miami. Now, we know that we need to get Duncan back in. Ah, that would have been fun. Okay. So, we're going to go... Lowry should be good for like 29. And then Duncan Robinson was out with a right thumb sprain. So that's not a conditioning thing. So since Hero was out, we've been getting... And even before that, you know, we're getting 33 minutes out of Duncan Robinson. I like that. Thumb doesn't change your conditioning on the way back. Butler, since Hero has been out, has increased his playing time a little bit. We're going to go 34. Obviously, Bam is 35. We're going to go ahead and say Kevin Love backup center. And then we're going to get the Hawkes, Highsmith, Caleb Martin trio projected so that we can very clearly not have any idea what we need to do. All right, Hawkes, when everybody's around. He's playing like 30 minutes a night. Not that it matters. We're clearly not playing him. Highsmith. It's going to be like 24, which I actually think starts to go down, especially with Duncan Robinson back. So we got to get Caleb Martin in for, I don't know, 24. I got to get Josh Richardson in for somewhere around 24. Now, that would leave me 18 minutes on Highsmith. But he played 15 with no Bam, no Butler, no Robinson. I think Haywood Highsmith might be leaving this rotation. Miami's last game was the 25th. Now, I know nobody played, but that is interesting. I want to see how Highsmith saw the floor. He started. Okay. I figured he came off the bench and they started Martin. So was that foul trouble or just dog shittiness? No, dog shittiness. All right, we're gonna go 18 minutes to Haywood Highsmith. That's all we can do. Rates can all stay the same. We just needed to make sure the Butler was correct. Everybody else funnels in. I do want to look at this one, though. I want to make sure that I have Bam right, because I feel like he's scoring a little bit more. No Miami props. I guess because of the JB Q tag. So, just out of curiosity, what is Bam's usage rate this season? By the way, top of the hour, guys. To the 160 people that are here, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. Oh, I forgot to do something today. Hold up. Wait a minute. Remix. Cyber Monday. Final day. This is the deal that we've got for you guys. $4.95 for your first week of the lineup generator. I'm going to assume you want NBA, but NFL exists. This is like the Sims tool, but we stepped on it a bunch. We mixed a lot of baking soda in with the fentanyl. We generate thousands and thousands of lineups on the back end. We get rid of all the ones that stink. We present the rest to you. You can pick a contrarian build, a chalky build, a balanced build. You can lock players or swap players. Export up to 20 via CSV. This is my favorite deal to talk about of anything that we have because I think it affects the most people. This is going to get you a better lineup to start, bar none. No doubt about it. I have no doubt in my mind that this will make you better off. It's not a guaranteed victory, but you are going to have a better lineup construction using this tool than you would if you just built it by hand. I promise you this. $4.95 is the cost of a coffee at Starbucks. Coffees at Starbucks don't make you additional money, potentially. This one can. So check it out. Knew I missed something. I appreciate all the kind words, guys. Thank you. I do love this. I love this show as well. Okay, Bam's usage is up a little bit more. I'm gonna give him the 1 percentage point bump. Do we end up liking Miami? Look, if Jimmy Butler's playing 8,300 small forward, power forward against Milwaukee. Milwaukee has 17th in defense, and they shouldn't be a good defense. They're 5th in pace. Miami, on the other hand, 5th in defense, 25th in pace. This is a really nice spot, actually, for the Heat. And I think Jimmy Butler, if he plays, looks good. And we know Jimmy Butler, I don't know how much he cares about the in-season tournament, but I know he's going to get up for a Milwaukee match. So, unfortunately, though, I also do kind of like Jaime Jaquez today. 5,400 small forward, power forward. I think you can make a case for Kyle Lowry. I think you could obviously make a case for Bam. Might actually have to bump that usage rate even more. We'll see what that looks like. Yeah, I don't mind Bam. He's just expensive at 9,200. But we don't have Joel Embiid and we don't have Nikola Jokic on this slate, so it might not be crazy to get to Bam. But I think Butler and Jaquez are the first two guys you want to get to here from Miami. On the Milwaukee side, not good. And like I said, that's not all that surprising. Miami is 5th in defense, 25th in pace. So this is a tough defensive matchup against a slow team. It's no surprise that Milwaukee doesn't look that great. Middleton's at 6,100, 11-4 for Giannis. I'm not going to talk people out of that, or 9,300 for Dame, but if it wasn't for position, Bam Adebayo is a better play than Damian Lillard. Wrap your head around that one for a bit. Don't really like this Milwaukee side. We're halfway done. We go to Charlotte. 11.5-point dogs in New York. 221 total. I can only imagine Charlotte sucks to project right now. Now that everybody is basically back. Is Nick Richards back? Nick Richards still out. Ntilikina still out. Cody Martin still out. LaMelo doubtful. Book Night probable. Can't imagine that matters. Did he play? No. All right. So LaMelo doubtful means we got to gut everything that exists for Charlotte. This is probably going to cause some issues. All right. So LaMelo got hurt 14 minutes, which means that probably happened at the end of that second quarter. Which means we got somebody starting for him? Nice, we did. Okay, so Brandon Miller started in place of LaMelo. They're probably going to go Rozier, Miller, Hayward, Bridges, Williams. They could start PJ Washington. I don't think they're going to do that. They also ran JT Thor at the 5 for a decent chunk of that game. I assume because of Mark Williams' foul trouble. Correct. Okay, this is going to be very interesting. S&P, you left out a key detail. He's probably going to be drunk behind the wheel of his car. Not just drunk. All right, so Rozier came back and played 37 minutes in his first game back. So we're clearly projecting Terry Rozier for 36 minutes. And then Mark Williams will also be another easy piece of this. Since Nick Richards has gone down, Mark Williams... Wait, did I look at the wrong game? Nope, sure didn't. Oh, they closed with PJ Washington at the 5. I guess that's not as weird. That's not going to be permanent. Okay, so let's get Mark Williams in for 30. 30 feels right. But it's not just PJ Washington as the backup center. Maybe it is, but maybe it's not. It's going to be at least 18 minutes to PJ Washington at the 5, though, I think. And we'll hide the rest of JT Thor on Thor. Yeah, I don't think they're going to... Because Nick Richards is hurt, I don't think they start PJ Washington. I think they start Brandon Miller. And if that's the case, I think we're projecting Brandon Miller for like 31 or 32 minutes. And then we're going to get Miles Bridges in for 36. And we're going to get Gordon Hayward in for 33. I'll give 12 minutes to JT Thor. I'll give Ish Smith at least 12 minutes of backup point guard run. I got to get PJ Washington 10 more minutes at least. So let's get him up to 28. That leaves me 22 minutes. I think Ish probably plays like a couple more. So let's get him up to 18. That leaves me 16 minutes. Do I think that's Bryce McGowan's or Teo Maledon? Bryce McGowan's makes more sense to me. Although no LaMelo. We're going to go 8 Maledon, 8 McGowan, since it actually does not matter. Now, rates are going to be a real issue. So we need to look at everything since last year, which isn't going to include Bridges and isn't going to include... Oh, God, this is going to be brutal. All right, so we got to take... And it isn't going to include Brandon Miller. So what we're going to do is say LaMelo Ball off. Actually, he missed a lot of games, right? I'm going to say did not play. No, it needs to be off. All right. LaMelo Ball off. Since last year. Don't have to include playoff time, at least. Okay, so Oubre was there. That's not going to help. All right, Rozier with LaMelo off at a 29% usage rate. I think Bridges will work as a decent comp to, like, having Kelly Oubre. So I'm going to take Rozier up to 28. I think we're going to have to take Miles Bridges. Hayward gets a bit of a bump. I think we're going to say that Bridges probably takes a pretty sizable one. I think Brandon Miller probably maintains a lot of his usage. Mark Williams probably doesn't do too much different. And then PJ Washington locks that in. We have to pay attention to those guys. The real issue here is going to be assist rate, too. Because Terry Rozier is going to get at least a little bit more from a ball handling perspective. Gordon Hayward, I assume, takes a big bump. Not as much as I would have expected. They had DSJ last year, which helps. They have Maladon, obviously playing a lot of minutes there. I think these guys are probably just naturally going to pick those assists up. It's not Brandon Miller. I don't expect it to be Miles Bridges. Maybe that works. Do we have props? We probably do, right? Like, if LaMelo's not expected to play, then they can have props for this game. All right, we do. Perfect. Miles Bridges' points prop is 21.5 juice to the over. I got it at 19. I got it at 20. So I am going to give him another bump up in usage. Rozier is at 19.5 juice to the over. I got him at 21.3. I'm okay with that. Brandon Miller should be around 14.5. Perfect. Gordon Hayward should be around 13.5. Little high. Bushy. Leaky Black is never going to play for the Hornets in any real minutes. He's a 24-year-old... What? Did he even get drafted? No. Right? Yeah, 24-year-old undrafted player. He can be as healthy as he wants to be. Okay, I like that. I like this a lot. Mark Williams, 10.5, juice to the over. I got him at 13. Looks like he's not going to be the guy that's getting that usage. Let's pull that bad boy down a bit. What's his usage rate on the year? Is he just not doing that kind of stuff? Because otherwise, he should be projected for way more points. Mark Williams on the season, 16% usage rate. Unless you just think that LaMelo is the key to that usage. But even still, if I bring that down, we'll be fine. I am okay with what I see here. I should look at assists quickly. Bridges north of 3. Sure. Rozier around 6.5 to the under. Sure. Hayward around 4.5 to the over. Give him that bumpski. Now, again, we got to remember, the New York Knicks, 8th in defense, 30th in pace. So what we are unlocking in value of having no LaMelo Ball, we're losing in matchup in the biggest possible way. So that is not fun. Meanwhile, for the Knicks, they face the 27th ranked defense and the 6th team in pace. It's not out of the realm of possibility that we like some Knicks here. Anybody out for the Knicks, which would be really helpful. Nope. Nothing new for the Knicks, which also means that we're probably not touching their rotation. Although DiVincenzo playing a lot less as of late. Yeah, 30 and 17 for Mitch and Hartenstein. 35 to Randall, 36 to Brunson. Yeah, I don't see much I want to change here. Quickly minutes climbing a little bit. I'm going to take 2 of those minutes from DiVincenzo and pop those bad boys onto Quickly. I think we're okay here. Yeah. $5,200 Mitchell Robinson does look pretty good. Could be in for a decent day. $5,900 RJ Barrett. This is a great matchup for him. I don't mind Randall or Brunson or Quickly. I really don't know what to do with Mitchell Robinson there, but if he's playing 30 minutes, that's good. Do I need to just ever so slightly bump that usage rate down so he scores even less? Is that the only thing I need to do here? Yeah, 9% usage on the season. But even still, looks good. What are the Knicks props here for points? Just to check it since I have it. Brunson, 25.5. Close enough. Randall, 21.5. Little high. Randall's usage is at 28.5. Brunson's at 27.5. I can bump up Brunson. Gets him a little bit closer. Kind of like this Knicks side, though. Brunson, Randall, Robinson, Barrett. Hard not to. Pretty hard not to like them. Can't like Charlotte, though, I'm guessing. What do we end up seeing? Okay, so $7,400 Terry Rozier. Still works. That price hasn't been able to climb enough with no LaMelo. $5,600 Brandon Miller is okay. $8K Miles Bridges is okay. Unfortunately, though, this matchup is really just going to nerf Charlotte. We move it on to OKC and Minnesota. Thunder are 3.5-point dogs in Minnesota. 227 total. From an injury report perspective, we have nobody on the OKC injury report. Minnesota is just Jaden McDaniels. So I'm guessing we don't have too much to worry about here. I do need to re-project Jalen Williams in. So let's delete everybody that isn't a real person and get Jalen Williams back in for his 33 minutes. Almost nailed it. Jalen Williams had missed 3 straight. Maybe we give him 32. Let him work his way back. Case and Wallace minutes need to come down pretty substantially. We could leave Josh Giddey in for 29, although I know he prefers 17. I'm going to have to put a pin in that one for the strategy show. 36 for Shea. 29 for Dort. Yeah, that's fine. Even if it's a little heavy. 23 for Joe. I think that 22. Kenrich, 18 is fine. J-Dub at 14 is probably fine. I'll hide 7 on Aaron Wiggins. Ooh. Okay, I still have Jalen Williams rates in, so that should be okay. Let's go to the Minnesota side. Again, Minnesota is going to be the same rotation we've been seeing. So we're getting 29 minutes out of Conley. I'm okay with that. 36 out of Ant. 35 out of Towns. 33 out of Gobert. 25 out of Slow-Mo. 27 out of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I'm happy with all of this. 20 out of Nas. 19 out of Troy Brown. 16. Yeah, we're good here. We're good here. So just to think it through, Minnesota 2nd in defense, 18th in pace. OKC 10th in defense, 8th in pace. So just a good matchup all around. $6,600 Gobert looks pretty good. If you think he's playing 33 minutes. I like $8,600 Towns as well with that power forward eligibility. 1.25 fantasy points per minute on the season. Don't mind Ant. Don't mind Slow-Mo. Don't mind Naz Reid. A lot of this looks pretty good. Really like the Minnesota side here. What do we like on OKC? Not much. SGA at 10.5. I'm a little limited here. 29.5 point projection. He's at 30.5. Okay, I could handle that. But Jalen Williams back, it's just a little bit worse. I don't like the OKC side nearly as much as Minnesota. If I'm going anywhere, it's Giddey and Jalen Williams. All right. We keep it moving. 2 to go. Houston and Dallas. Rockets, 4.5-point dogs in Dallas. 231 total for Houston. Brooks probable. Eason probable. Tate probable. Amin Thompson still out. Fred VanVleet probable. So let's take a look at this rotation. All right, so $38 for VanVleet is the best that I can do. $32 for Jalen Green. Probably the best that I can do. Dylan Brooks, 31. I feel good. Jabari. Could probably go 31 there. Looks like they've excised Jock Landale. 18 for Eason. I could probably bring Jeff Green down a skosh. Get Jabari to 32. Man, Şengün has been playing so much more lately. I'm going to go 33 to Şengün. Oh, man, I don't like it. These guys are just so live to play more. I just can't project it like that. It's probably 34 to Şengün, honestly. Oh, yeah, the tiebreaker's head-to-head, right? And Houston beat the Pels. The only downside is that it's Dallas on the opposite side. It's not like they're not a real team. I don't think I could go too much harder than what I have in here right now. Like, obviously, VanVleet, I'm fine with, and I'm okay with 34 for Şengün. It's hard to project bigs too much more than that. It's the Jalen Green, Brooks, Jabari Smith minutes that I don't really know what to do with. The problem really is that Jae'Sean Tate and Tari Eason are like very reasonable dudes to play. Like, is Jabari Smith really a better basketball player right now than Jae'Sean Tate or Tari Eason? That's the only real issue for me. Like, I can see Jalen Green because they don't have another Jalen Green. But I can't project Jabari Smith and Dylan Brooks that much bigger because they do have interchangeable parts. I want to see it first. Well, the problem here, I guess, Dallas, 25th in D, 9th in pace, but that's pretty much only when Luke is not on the floor. I think I'm okay with this for right now. I want to see what the values look like after I project Dallas. On the Dallas side, no Maxey. Q-tag on Lively will be incredibly important. Because there's just, like, if that unlocks, I guess Rashawn Holmes' price is probably a little bit higher. I think they'd be more likely to use Tari Eason in this type of matchup than they normally would. All right, Dallas. Like, obviously, I think VanVleet is very live for like 42. Şengün, it's hard to really juice a big like that. It's so easy for them to, one, you're like, they don't normally have that type of stamina, and two, you're just live for more foul trouble. Green is the one that I think is live for like 37 or 38 minutes for sure. Not that I don't think Smith and Brooks are. They just have more wings. Green is the one that I want to see my projection on him before I make any decisions. Because like if he already looks good at the extra minute I gave him, then I don't care. For Dallas, I don't think I'm moving too much around here. 35 to Luka. 34 to Kyrie. Go 30 to Grant Williams. 28 to Hardaway. Lively in for 25, assuming he plays. Seems fine. Powell for 17. Exum still playing. Derek Jones Jr. still playing. Yeah, there's not much here. All right, on the Dallas side. Look, 11-6 for Luka does not look bad at all. 4K power forward Grant Williams, also pretty nice value. I don't mind Derek Lively if he plays at 5K. It is a low back contusion, so that is mildly scary. But yeah, I like Luka. If there's enough value, I think I'm going to be getting to him. Now I look at Houston. Oh, that's not what I wanted to see. All right, so Şengün 8,500. Probably going to make it hard to get to Bam at 92. And then Brooks, Van Vliet, Smith, Green, Tate all look basically the same. Only thing that's saving us here is that it's not like the greatest matchup in the world. And these guys are all priced pretty appropriately. I feel like I'm underselling Jalen Green somehow. All right, final game. Golden State and Sacramento. Warriors are 3-point dogs in Sacramento. Nobody on the injury report for Golden State. Sacramento has got a doubtful tag on Keegan Murray, a Q tag on Keon Ellis, and Alex Len is out. So we got to get Draymond back in the swing of things. Going to be easier to just delete most of this rotation. Bang, 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 bang. We will maintain 31 for Chris Paul. No, we will bring that down to 29. Clay seems right at 32. Steph seems fine at 34. Wig. Minutes are climbing a little bit. Let's go 28. We get Looney out there for his 24. We'll get Draymond out there for what? 28. Slap 16 onto Saric. Slap 22 onto Saric. We'll get Kuminga in for 19. And then it's Moody and Peyton splitting 24 minutes. Works for me. Doesn't matter. Not playing these guys. Sacramento. Oh, actually, I got to cut Chris Paul's assist rate down a bit now that Draymond is back. Boom. Sacramento. So, still no Keegan Murray. I'm going to take those 12 Davion Mitchell minutes and give them back to Keon Ellis. Not that it matters. 36 to Fox, 35 to Saboner. $36 to Saboner, I guess. 9 for JaVale. 34 for the Barnacle. Make that 33. Herder 28, Monk 25. Feels about right. Lyles 22. Feels about right. Duarte 26. Too many. Bring him down to 22. Vazenkov didn't play. They went to Kessler Edwards, so I will go to Kessler Edwards. Who the hell do I have projected for a half minute? Where the hell is that? Lyles, you sneak. Done. All right, let's see what we look like. $9,800 Fox and 10-1 Sabonis both look pretty good here against Golden State. Warriors, by the way, 12th in defense, 11th in pace. Sacramento, 22nd in defense. Surprise, surprise. Ooh, 14th in pace. Definitely didn't expect that. Not playing as fast as I thought they would. Although Fox did miss a chunk of time. It was 4 games. Never mind. Monk, Fox, Sabonis are the 3 guys that I like the most here from Sacramento. I'm pretty surprised to see Fox and Sabonis, actually. I don't get those guys often. The Warriors side, nobody. You want Steph, go for it. Wiggins and Clay, I guess. I think the entire Golden State team looks actively bad. Let's run some crunches. Guys, thanks for being here. Got a little over an hour in the books. 210 people in the door. Now it's time to figure out what we actually like for today. So let's lock and load Fantasy Cruncher. And let's find out what we like. Thanks for being here. Don't forget, lineup generator, $4.95, Cyber Monday promo, link in the description. Final day for it. If you don't get in now, you don't get this deal. All righty, first one up. DraftKings optimal rates. Bang. Let's do it. Not a great feel for this. And we know one team that's going to show up, but after that, I don't know. 264.8. Optimal lineup by 0.1. Garland, Rozier, RJ Barrett, Jaime Jaquez, Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Brunson, Grant Williams, Rudy Gobert. That doesn't look all that crazy to me. Garland in all 50. Gobert in 47. RJ Barrett and Mitchell Robinson both in the 40s as well. Then it drops down to 56% Grant Williams, and then it flattens out. I think Garland's going to be my number one dude here. It could be RJ Barrett just positionally. But Garland is going to be up there. I'm a big Garland guy. How did I do last night? I finished 4th. And I left the winning lineup on the table. And it frustrates me. And I'm trying to forget about it. Garland at 27%. So like as I expected, he's at the top. Nothing pulled away, though. Very flat. We don't have any obvious plays on this slate. There's no like DeAndre Jordans from yesterday yet. Garland, Gobert, Mitchell Robinson, RJ Barrett, Naz Reid, Towns, Brunson, Tate, Grant Williams, Jaime Jaquez. Now we go to the FanDuel side for everybody, and then we get on out of here. Standard issue day. Prize picks. Oh, I lost on prize picks again last night. That's 2 in a row. Frustrating. Don't like losing. Don't like losing. But went 1-1. I actually lost the beef stew piece, which was the piece that I was less nervous about. Very annoying. So let's hop in here now and do FanDuel. FanDuel optimal 304.6. It's the optimal lineup by 0.03. Van Vliet, Josh Giddey, Malik Monk, Gordon Hayward, Kevin Huerter, Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns, Jimmy Butler, and Alperen Şengün. Most of that looks normal. I wouldn't want the Monk and Huerter combo. I would want to find the first one that didn't have that. But the first 6 lineups I generated all have Monk and Huerter. So take that for what it's worth. Butler, Monk, and Şengün were in all 50. Hayward was in 80%, Huerter in 70%, and then everybody else was 50 or below. As we slap on some randomness, this will really just mush everything on FanDuel. $5,100 Malik Monk is becoming a bit of an issue here. But his price is quite cheap. He had been up of 57, 58 for a couple weeks now. 51 is there. Monk, Hayward, Butler, Van Vliet, Tate, Randall, Brooks, Huerter, Wiggins, Giddey. Malik Monk at the top of the list on FanDuel for today. If that doesn't explain where value is, I don't know what will. But, if you're getting, what's 6x here? 30 fantasy points? Like, that's not all that crazy for him. You need a little bit more than 6x for sure, but still. Alrighty, folks. We done here. We are done here. Another fantastic show in the books. Thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to take advantage of that Cyber Monday deal. You'll get myself and Adam on the strategy show at 10 o'clock. All of Contenders out maybe before, maybe after, who knows. And then we're back tonight, 5:30 p.m. for the deeper dive. No, it's not a 7 o'clock start tonight. It's 7:30. So it's nice talking to you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow. This was The Process.